Okay, so if you clicked on this video, I'm guessing you're about to get your own place for the first time soon, or you just want some tips and pointers of what to expect. So this video is going to include things that I wish I knew before getting my own place at the big age of 27 when I did last year. So I think the first thing I want to talk about is just expectation setting. So it took me a long time to get to this point. And I think everybody's journey looks different, right? Some people never experience living alone in their own apartment, whether it be because they get married and they live with that partner, or they've always lived with family, or whatever life circumstances present, right? So I think, growing up, I had a dream of like, okay, I'm gonna get my own place, like move out at 18. And for some people, that is the case of where at 18, they're in their own spot. It's not the case for everybody, and I feel like the Bay Area is very expensive, so it's hard. You also have people who stay in relationships with people because the rent is too expensive to break up, type of thing, right? But I think just expectation setting, like even what you see people living their lives on social media isn't always a full reflection of what their life is. People tend to only post the good things and not the bad, or what it took to get to getting their own place, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about first. I have a few notes on my phone, so you'll see me referring back. Okay, so I want to do an overview of the expenses outside of rent. So something I didn't know was all that it takes to maintain your own place. So you have utilities, you have PG&E, you have parking if you live in a city, right? Having to pay for that. Toiletries, I'm talking paper towel, toilet paper, detergent, soap, trash bags, the list goes on, right? That's not even including food and groceries. So also you're gonna need to furnish your place. All that costs. And I think I had an unrealistic expectation of thinking, okay, I'm gonna get everything when I move in. Like, I want to get things quickly. So you want to feel settled in your place, but I think a realistic expectation is that it takes time. You're going to have your place grow to what you want it to be with time. I know for me, I slept on an air mattress the first 2 months that I lived here. Caused a lot of back pain. I already was having back pain, but I was just happy to have my own place. Even this song, Ari Lennox, like, she says she gets to do cartwheels because she doesn't have any furniture yet. Like, it was no furniture for a while. And a Buddhist member, Julie, so sweet, she gave me my first piece of furniture, which was a reclining chair that was her mother's. So it's like realizing that it will take time. Also, if you want to get things of quality that you like, it's going to take time to find something you like and not just get anything if you plan on having these pieces for a long time. What else is needed outside of what it takes to furnish your place is renter's insurance. Didn't know that was a thing either. So some requirements to get your own place in the Bay Area: you have to have good credit. Your credit has to be good to get approved for an apartment. Most places require previous rental history as well too. So of course, if you've had an eviction on your record, that looks bad. But if you don't have a lot of rental history, you're gonna have to put a previous address. Or some places, when I've been helping some of the participants in my caseload, what I do, they wanna know like 2 years prior or somewhere where you were living before, if they need to contact that landlord to see what kind of tenant was this person. Also, upon applying for places, there's application fees. The applications they can ask a lot of information. It depends. There is apartments.com, or some people use Craigslist. There's different platforms to finding apartments, but there's always going to be an application fee, which it varies from place to place that you apply to. Another thing is, when they run your credit for these applications, it's going to be a hard inquiry on your credit. So I think it's important to tour the apartment, whether it be virtual tour or in person, and make sure it's really what you want before you go applying to a bunch of different ones. First off, because that application fee. Second off, it's going to affect your credit score if it's not one that you really want. Be mindful about your credit when you're doing that. Oftentimes too, when you get approved for a place, there's a time crunch, a time limit of how long you have to accept that place before like the unit may no longer be available. And some places charge a reservation deposit for the unit. Because if you're saying, okay, I want to go for this place, but you haven't decided yet, there's a fee to hold that unit so no one else can kind of take it. So yeah, there's a lot of expenses in that. And then also, so places downtown at least require that you make 2.5 to 3 times the amount of rent. I don't know what it is for other places. I just know that that's what it is in downtown Oakland. So yeah, some places it's 3 times the rent, some places it's 2.5. I didn't come across any that were 2 times the rent, but I think it depends on the place that you apply to. So keep that in mind. I know you possibly can have a cosigner. I don't have one, but that may impact you getting approved for the amount of rent if they know that they have someone else they can lean on if you don't come through on your rent, basically. Another thing is leases are really long. Like leases can be very long. They're going to send it to you like a digital lease to sign, kind of like a DocuSign or something like that. But really make sure to go through it and just be prepared that that could take some time. I don't know if anywhere does actual paper leases anymore where you sign, but mine was digital. Also, you're gonna have to have first month's rent and security deposit when you move in. So yeah, just make sure you're accounting for that when you move in. It's not just that. Another thing you should consider if you're going to be living downtown or in any major city is parking. So if you're from the Bay Area, you know bipping is a thing. If you're not, bipping is when you get your windows busted, basically. That happens a lot in Oakland. People, you know, especially if you leave something on the seats of your car, people will break in, try to get, you know, get whatever they can. And so I think parking, secure parking is a big concern. Also, when you live in any city, you have to pay for street parking during certain hours. So to avoid tickets or even trying to search for parking, a lot of times there's parking garages. Now these parking garages, you pay monthly to park. There's monthly parking rates. Yeah, so keep that in mind. My parking is pretty expensive monthly. So that was another thing I didn't account for. That was another expense. I'm like, oh, okay. Also in Oakland, there is a rent tax. So my rent tax is about $30 every month just for paying rent in Oakland. So consider your city's rent tax as well. Something else I didn't know, PG&E. You have to set up an account with PG&E online and have it start the day that you're set to move in. If you don't have that set up, you won't have electricity. Set up PG&E beforehand. Another thing is Wi-Fi setup. So figure out and cable if you choose. I use streaming services. And yeah, but set up cable and Wi-Fi beforehand because you'll be in your place and be like, oh dang, I don't have Wi-Fi. If you need to work from home or answer emails, or even if you do stream, you're gonna need Wi-Fi to watch those things. So try to purchase whatever carrier you wanna go with and have your setup day for them to come and install Wi-Fi and, you know, figure out for cable if you'd like to. Also account the price for Wi-Fi and cable into your budget too. That's another expense. So utilities, trash, water. A lot of times I've noticed utilities can range from $80 to $100 at most places in Oakland, at least. It goes off of the usage, right? Expectation setting. So you're not going to be charged utilities your first month. I even talked to my friend who moved down to LA and she was like, girl, I didn't get charged for utilities my first month either. Did they forget? I don't know. We may not just be charged. And yeah, she was like, girl, I wasn't charged for my utilities either. I'm not going to say nothing. I don't know. Turns out you aren't charged trash and utilities your first month because you haven't accumulated any trash or used water to even be charged. So account that your rent will go up the longer you stay there once you start using water and having trash. So that's something I didn't know. And like my rent jumped almost $200 more. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind when moving into your own place. I also want to say PG&E. So it depends too how many people you're living with. I live alone. My place is smaller, so PG&E isn't too expensive. Consider and account for the months too where it's winter and you may turn the heater on more, or when it's summer, if it gets hot where you live and you turn the AC on more. It doesn't get too hot in Oakland. I haven't turned on the AC yet, actually. But as far as for the heat, in the winter months, I did get cold and turn on the heater a few times. But if that's something you're concerned about, get a weighted blanket. I have a weighted blanket. Those are so warm and like have so many positive mental health benefits to it. But yeah, look for alternatives to stay warm if you don't want to use the heat. Yeah, so then I also want to circle back to the furnishing your place. A lot of things too that I didn't account for. I'm like, oh, like if you need to clean, like that's another thing. Consider how big your place is. Keep in mind, the more space you have, the more things you have to clean. And also, no one's going to do the cleaning but you, unless, you know, you're living with someone and maybe they help out. So also making sure that you have time to schedule time to clean and fit that into your everyday habit. It's nice to not have to answer to anyone of when you clean. You get to do it when you want, but you have to fit that into your lifestyle too. But cleaning supplies, in addition to when I talked about like the toiletries and things, you know, I'm like, oh, I need a toilet bowl cleaner, right? Or like, you know, your inner shower curtain liner, pots and pans, silverware, right? Cups, plates, all that. I think that a good place to get them for an affordable price, the Dollar Tree. The song instrumental that was playing before, the Ari Lennox, she says, Dollar Tree wine glasses in the air. Dollar Tree glasses. Honestly, I feel like they're good quality. And it gets the job done. Like, you need stuff to eat on. So there's a lot of things that you don't realize, shoot, I need this. And so you're in your own place. So account for all that too. But yeah, know that it takes time. It takes time. I got my hangers from the Dollar Tree too. There's a lot of things you wouldn't realize you need. Like, I was like, oh wait, when I had no lamps in here, I was like, oh, maybe I'm a little afraid of the dark sometimes. No, but I actually got a nightlight from the Dollar Tree. Like, check the Dollar Tree. They have a lot of things that you wouldn't expect or know that they have because you're not looking for them until you have your own place. I think I may have covered everything. To share a personal piece, if you or someone you know is homeless, there are a lot of resources out there. It's just a matter of knowing what they are. So I'm going to mention two. There's BACS, Bay Area Community Services, and BOSS, Building Opportunities. I don't know the whole quote for BOSS. I didn't use BOSS, but I actually was homeless before I got this place. This was my second time in life experiencing homelessness. And it's interesting just reflecting, both times being homeless, I ended up being in Oakland. So I guess I was meant to kind of land in Oakland. But this time around, it ended on a positive note of me getting stability, right? I think the universe and just life has a way of presenting things in your life more than once if you didn't learn the lesson the first time. So I'm appreciative. I'm grateful. Yeah. I'm happy to be here now. But I just want to shout out Soul. If she sees this, thank you, Soul, for telling me about Bay Area Community Services. A lot of people will gatekeep information, but I believe there's enough resources to go around. And if I can help another person, the more I know, it is now my duty and I'm obligated to share with others, because why shouldn't they be benefited and get help in the same way I did? Like, we have to have community, and community isn't built on proximity. It's built on intentionality of showing up for people and being there for others. So I was saying that community isn't built on proximity. It's built on intentionality, intentionally being there for others, showing up for each other, letting each other know that we care about each other. I see you, you know what I mean? And I'm here for you. So if I can share information or resources, I'm going to do it. You know, I do it on my social media platforms. I do it with my friends. If I hear about something, I'm going to share. So with that being said, I thank Soul for telling me about BACS and connecting me with Miss Ashley, who helped a lot. I don't know if she'll see this, but if any of you guys use these resources and you reach out to BACS and you deal with Miss Ashley or Larry or also Amanda with Homestretch, I just sincerely want to say thank you to all of them, because they helped me with this place and everything that I have now in it. So let me explain a little bit. If you're homeless, BACS will pay your first month's rent and security deposit. And they also will give you up to $4,000 voucher for furniture. Expectation setting though. I didn't get that first month's rent and security deposit until months after staying here. It was a while of me trying to email like, oh, do you have it? They have to have your lease first, your signed lease. Then the money that they're giving the apartment to pay for the first month's rent and security deposit goes directly to the apartment. It doesn't go to you. It's so it can be used for what it's intended to be used for. However, you know, with a lot of cutting too, there's a lot of federal funding being cut. So it just depends on what time you apply. I applied around the holidays, so it took a while for things to be processed. So I'm happy that I did end up having the money up front to do so. So just keep in mind that even though it says first month, it may take longer. But what your apartment will do is they'll put it as a credit towards your rent for the next month. So it's still helpful, still useful. It'll give you kind of a gap and a break whenever the money does come through. With these places too, you have to be persistent about calling and following up. They help a lot of people. And so sometimes you can just kind of slip through the pipeline. And yeah, just make sure you're on top of following up about getting the help that you want. As far as for Homestretch. So Homestretch is also offered through Boss. Now, Boss is the same thing. They offer first month's rent and security deposit, but they offer it to anyone who's ever had a CDCR, anyone who's been incarcerated in prison, not jail. And same thing. That's just what it is. They're in Oakland at the Eastmont Wellness Center. And they also use Homestretch. So Homestretch gives you up to $4,000 of furniture assistance. They give you a few different vendors that you can shop with, and then there's a process of getting approved for that and getting those items, which can take a while as well. That's why I said I slept on an air mattress for the first 2 months that I lived here. This comfy bed right here is from Homestretch. So yeah, I just really want to thank them. It was nice to get a new bed and it's comfortable. Yeah, so that was a blessing. And even when I ordered some things from Amazon, and when I got it, it said a gift from Amanda. I don't want to put her last name, but that's why I'm saying thank you to her, because I'm not sure if she's the one who placed the order. I kind of had to make a wish list and make sure that I didn't exceed a certain amount. And then those things were ordered. And yeah, so I'm just so grateful. I'm so appreciative. There are resources out there. So that's why I want to share with anyone who needs to hear this, or maybe struggling with housing and wants to get their own place. I'm definitely grateful. Grateful is an understatement. Like, you see me with my bear. Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like it's just a full circle moment. And again, like I said, to have faced homelessness twice, and the second time around be here now at my own place, it was like, all right, you know, I can do this. And every day I'm proving to myself that I am more and more capable of being independent and taking care of me. And it feels good to take care of me and to provide a sense of security and safety and stability for myself. And it's good to provide a sense of security and stability and safety for myself that I don't have to rely on anyone else for, right? That I can show up for myself. I pay all of my bills. No one's paying any bills for me. I'm doing it all on my own, truly being independent. And while it's not always easy, I'm enjoying it, you know? And so now I'm 28 and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. I love my apartment. I have beautiful views from the rooftop. There's a gym in here. So many like perks. And a lot of things I'm learning to do for the first time. And I love it because the work that I do with my participants, a lot of the things that they're learning to do for the first time, I am too. So it resonates. But yeah, so just appreciate life, enjoy life, be grateful for what you have. Know that if you're in a position right now, whatever age you're watching this, and you don't have your own place, but you want your own place, that's very much attainable and can be in your near future and reality. And just, I hope this video helps give you realistic expectation, what to expect when doing that process, and what it really takes to go into getting your own place. I think even too, like if you're in a position where you want your own place, but you're not there yet, go on apartment tours. Just see what's out there, see what you like, look up how much places cost, right? To really give you an idea. I actually made a vision board. I'll insert a picture of it. was it September? Or I made it in August, and my goal was, okay, September 1st, I'm going to move in. That didn't happen, but I got it in November. So I think there's some truth to vision boards and manifesting. So yeah, I hope this helps. Drop in the comments if you have any questions or things that I didn't go into detail about or answer. I tried to kind of brainstorm things that I wanted to touch on beforehand. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all your love and support and how my channel is growing. Let me know what other types of content you'd love to see as well too. I still got those travel vlogs and content coming. I just felt like with all of the attention that my tours in Oakland video got, that it would only make sense to talk about things that you need to know when getting your own place. So yeah, thanks for watching and tuning in. Bye.